Okay, so, and you guys can use these on your quiz, so definitely make sure you take some adequate notes today. So, this, should that be an open dot or a closed dot?
Open. Go on to the...
We ain't even paying attention. Open, and this one should be closed. Okay, so if you don't know anything else, you have to know that in order to be able to do these problems, okay? Most definitely, you have to know. So if we look at number 1, it should be open. Okay, and how do we know that it goes to the left?
When it's like this way. Like when the thing is like pointing that way.
Yeah, so we have this little arrowhead, okay? Well, if we put it on this side, it looks right. If we put it on this side, does that match up perfectly? No, it doesn't. So you can go ahead and draw the arrow to the arrowhead. Okay, let's look at the next ones. It says write an inequality for each graph. Okay, so you can pick any letter. So we're going to say X, and our number is going to be what?
It's going to be X is...
Chill out. What's our number?
5.
5.
And it's going to be a open circle.
No, chill. Okay, which way is the arrow going?
It's going to be X is greater than 5.
Okay, so it's going this way, so that means this sign should be this way. Now we can say, well, is it open or closed dot?
Open.
It's open, so should it have a line under it or not? So these are the ones that I don't know why, but people were struggling with yesterday. They're so easy to write, but I think you guys just forgot. Does it need a line under it or no?
No.
Okay, when would it need a line under it?
If it's colored.
If it's closed, if it's colored in, okay, so then we would need a line under it. Okay, the next section is solving each inequalities and a graphic solution. So, pay attention. All of you guys, except for you, have had a quiz with me at least once. So you know how I grade. I give you a point literally for writing something down. So Miss Jones, do not skip a problem because you don't know how to do it. That's the dumbest choice you can ever make. I at least give you 1 point for writing something down. Okay, I give you a point for an answer. I give you a point for if it's open or closed, which way it's going. That way I can kind of bank a lot of points. So this says solve and graph. That means you should have solved and graphed it, okay? So we got P minus 3 is greater than or equal to 17. Okay, so to get P by itself, we need to add 3 to both sides. P is greater than or equal to 20. So at 20, it should be closed and pointed towards the right. Good Lord. Okay, the next section on here, same thing. They're just going to be still 1 steps. And this one we did minus, so we're going to do a plus 1. Okay, so I got B plus 11 is greater than 8. Okay, so we need to get P by itself, so we're going to say minus 11, minus 11. It's going to be negative 3. Do we need to flip?
No.
Okay, I appreciate you guys trying to work ahead. This is called a review, so that way we can review it together to make sure you're doing it right before your quiz. So how is it helpful if you do the whole sheet because you think you know how to do it, and then if you don't actually know how to do it, you're not going to know until tomorrow, the day of your test. Okay, so follow along with me quickly, and then you can do the entire other side of the paper. Okay, otherwise I'm be forced to just give you half of the paper while I'm up here, and then you'll get another sheet that can be you can do all by yourself. Okay, that's why it's called a review. That's why teachers do a review, is to just review, go over everything, make sure you know what you're doing, I know what you're doing, and you're doing it correctly. Because otherwise you're going to be hit tomorrow if you were doing it all wrong. Okay, and some of your guys' work this week has not been pretty. I don't know if you just forgot some things or what, if your calculator's wrong. I have some papers to pass back to you today, so I want to go through some of those with you guys. Okay, so it's going to be open and going towards
All right.
right. Okay, 9 and 10 are the ones where I would definitely say some of you guys are lacking. What does it mean when they're right next to each other?
Divide.
It means, it means multiply, so you need to divide. The 10, what is that already, right now?
Ooh, 12 times 9.
Why are you going to times it?
Because divide means times.
Yeah, so right now we're dividing, so we're going to times it.
That's 12.
Mm-hmm. So is it going to be open or closed?
Open.
Open.
Right.
To the right. Okay, look at 13 and 14. I don't know that I should have put them on there, but I did, so make sure. These are definitely harder ones for you guys. Okay, what do we move first?
The 8.
Why do you think that? Why you gonna shrug your shoulders and say you don't know? You only had a couple things to pick from anyways.
Because that's the only one by itself. The other one by the kid.
Yeah, so the kid one totally works on this. So the kid is whoever is attached to the variable. So we subtract 8 first. So I got a over 3 is greater than or equal to 4. And then what's my last step going to be?
Multiply by 3.
Do we need to flip?
No, because they're not negative.
What's not negative?
The denominator. The bottom number.
Which number?
The 3.
The 3. So the 3 is the thing that we're multiplying through. So we need to multiply or divide by a negative is when we flip. So on this one, we don't need to flip. Okay, so at 12, it's going to be open, pointed towards the right. Okay, let's look at 14. What do we move first?
The 8.
Okay, so this one is kind of tricky because of the fact that, like, there's nothing, like, really attached as far as, like, kid couple-wise. Okay, so you have to move the 8 first. We can't move anything together. Now, if I put parentheses, you guys know these are kind of stuck together. Okay, so you got to move the 8 first. Okay, so now we have 1 plus x is less than or equal to 8. And most of you guys, you should know how to solve from here.
I think I got it.
Okay, so it's going to be closed, pointed towards
The left.
the left. You want me to do 15 or 16?
15.
Okay, 15. What do we do first?
Move the 1. The 1.
So is there just a couple and a kid?
No.
So then if there's not just a couple and a kid, we need to do what? Starts with the C.
Combine my term.
Yeah, so our very first step on these is going to be to combine. So most of you guys either didn't want to answer or you were just straight up staring at me, which means you need some step-by-step instructions on your sheet. Okay, so you probably need to write that on there, combine like terms. Because if you don't know it now, you're not going to know it tomorrow. It's not like you're just going to magically. So what can we combine?
1 and 1.
The 1 and the 1 to give me a what?
2.
2 plus 4b is less than 18. Okay, our next step would be to do what?
Minus 2.
Yeah, so it would be add / subtract the kid.